Yeah.
We're now going to tell you you need to take care of your son.
Well, let me say first of all that I think you're right, and let me say second of all that my observation is that True's audience and the people in his chat room are people who have been conditioned to not say anything. Um, let's see, I don't know the
I
correct
know where you're
word
going.
for it.
They can't
They
say it.
cannot disagree.
Right. And this goes back to what my point is about what this subject is, that black women and their mental illness. He's acting like the majority of black mothers and those who agree with me. Because
You
I
often
can't
ask
learn
for
listening
that.
to motherfuckers who are parroting what I say. Matter of fact, if you notice, when people get on my show and they start repeating words that I say, what do I say to them? Hell, I already said that.
You say, I want to take a call from someone who disagrees with me. Yeah, I know.
I don't want to sit here and keep
Um,
talking to motherfuckers who like me, but that's all he will accept. All he will accept. I tell people in here, you cut that calling me a name shit out. You say what you want, especially if I said something wrong. I've apologized to people live on my damn show because I've said something that was wrong. I've
yeah,
done retraction videos. What I said was wrong. This dude won't.
yeah.
He has not retracted. He said he never said anything bad about my mom. He said that he openly said that my mom's church is a scam, told people to find out where my mom's church is so they can call the church. Then he turned around and said that my mom had a child that my mom is currently married to my older brother's dad, but she cheated on him to get me and my little brother. Where would
I've
he
heard
even
those
get
things.
where would he even get this information from? Seriously, where would he even get that
I
from?
don't,
He's never
I
met
don't
me.
know.
He's never met my mom, and I've never said this on any show. He's never heard it anywhere. But his audience didn't ask him, how do you know this?
Because they have been conditioned, they don't get to ask questions. The other day, when he was talking about me, and I was sending messages in the chat room, one person in his audience commented, and I took it for granted that it was a man. I think the name was Afro. He actually said, Mickey, why don't you call in and apologize? I said that his male supporters must have uteruses. Why would a man tell me to call in and apologize to True? That's how True has conditioned them and trained them. And that's
And
weakness.
then the next question I would have asked would have been simply, what am I apologizing for? If you can explain to me why I'm apologizing, if you notice, that's why when I was telling you, you owe me an apology, I was able to explain why. I'm not going to
Hmm.
tell you you owe me something without being able to let you know, because a lot of times people don't realize, well, what did I do wrong? A lot of times you didn't do something on purpose to someone. It just ended up being that they took it as a bad thing. But if they can explain it, especially if you know you don't mean to hurt them, you have no problem with saying, oh, I'm sorry, once they explain it. But if they refuse to explain it, I had a girl tell me to apologize to her about something. I was like, but I didn't do that. And she still felt like I should have given her an apology. I was like, this is weird. You just want an apology for apology's sake. I don't like apologies when people don't know why they're apologizing, because that's not a real sorry. That's an appeasement.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, well, what I don't agree with, but I respect your opinion, is no, my next question wasn't what am I apologizing for? I hadn't done anything to True. I've treated True with extra sensitivity
No,
because
I'm
I
saying
feel
that's
like
why I
he
would
has
have
mental
asked that.
issues.
No, I'm saying that's why I would have
Yeah.
asked that. If I know I didn't do anything wrong, or I feel like I didn't do anything wrong, but you feel like I do, I want you to explain it. See, this
Yeah.
is why I have a lot of problems with people, and that's why me and you you and I had a couple of problems earlier, is because if you say something, I'm going to ask you to be able to explain it. You should be able to stand 10 toes down on whatever it
Hmm.
is that you say.
Hmm.
And that's why I said, I don't know if you remember earlier when I said, everything that comes out of my mouth, I can account for it. And if I can't, then I shouldn't say it.
Well, I've probably heard you say it before.
Mm-hmm. I said it earlier. I honestly believe if I said out of my mouth, if somebody was like, hey, man, I want to talk to you about what you just said out of your mouth right now. Can you Skype me? Remember, as soon as you said you wanted to talk, I said, well, let's get on Skype. I'll bring you on, let you talk. You got to type in here. Let's just talk.
Hmm.
Because one of the biggest reasons why we have all these mental illnesses in the black community is because we've told so many children that they can't speak about shit that they know. Do you know the hardest group to lie to is children? We all think that it's easy to lie to children, but it's hard to lie to children because once you set them, children are like a lie detector test. Once you set up the baseline of what you do when you're telling the truth versus what you're doing when you lie, they react to those same things. Now, they're wrong a lot of times. That's why like they'll fuck up with English. With children, if you tell them D-O is do, and then you tell them what's T-O, they say, well, that's two. Then you ask them, well, what's T-W-O? They say that's 12. No, that's two. Then they ask you, what's S-O? They say, Sue. And you say, well, why is S-O Sue? They said, because T-O is two and D-O is do. Why wouldn't S-O be Sue? That's how a child's mind works. You set it up with a baseline and they stick with it. You have to tell them that this is not the way it goes. And that's how we condition children to lie. Damn, I'm good. You know I'm good. Go ahead, admit it.
Yeah, you're good, because I'm still thinking about that.
This is how we condition children to lie. We tell them that there are rules that don't apply here. Why do you think women are better at English than men?
We talk more.
Because women are good at saying, well, yes, this rule fits here, but it doesn't fit here. Men like shit to stay consistent. If it fits here, it fits here, it fits here. That's why we're better at math than women. Because in math, it don't matter if your math book is 20 years old. It's still relevant, is it not?
It's always the same. It's not going to change.
But your English book changes every 6 months.
English changes with societal norms. So words that were once considered, like, for instance, ain't. It's in the dictionary. It's now considered a word. When I was in school, it wasn't a word and I couldn't use it. So yeah, English changes.
That's my point. Now, I don't just say stuff to be saying stuff, and I don't go around like Tyra breaking my arms and pat my back on some simple shit. I just said something that many people wouldn't have even thought of. And while I was explaining it, many people were like, son of a bitch, that is true. T-O-S-O-D-O. And you didn't hear anybody else explain it that way. Psychology is something I take seriously. The mind is something I take seriously. The emotional status of human beings is something I take seriously. Today, I went to McDonald's. You know, in my mind, I was like, I'd drive back up there and shoot that motherfucker up. It was the first thing I thought in my mind for like 2 seconds. You know why I thought that? Because my day wasn't going very well. I'm not very happy about a lot of shit. And then you just gave me some cold ass fries and a sandwich that I didn't ask for. But I paid you what you asked for. Do you understand that we don't pay people so much attention that this is why we have mass shootings? Because we've discounted so many people and their feelings, and we think that people should put up with our shit. But we should be taken care of. Our emotions should be taken care of. But we treat people like crap. Those teenagers sat in there and treated my food like it wasn't my damn food. Like they didn't give a shit, because they didn't. But if I'd have went up in there with a gun and laid everybody down, how many of them would have been in there apologizing to me? I'll make you a new fresh one right now.
You're right, but what the example that you just gave shows that you have the mentality to reason with yourself. Even if you felt like going back to shoot them, you knew better, and so you did better. And that's another thing that we have to teach people, to be able to reason with themselves, just like I tried to teach our friend True to reason with himself when he starts getting out of control online.
But that's what I mean. We have to be able to do something like that. We have to understand why only take people seriously. Just like that girl who got shot live on Facebook. She thought it was all fun and games when she was talking shit about that dude she was dating. When he walked up in that damn house. Okay, so I saw
your video on that, and that hurt my feelings. And I know you've already given me your spill on that and told me how you feel about it. But when you were discussing it, I thought, wow, well,
They just put my mom's
she
name
is
and phone
dead.
number in. They just put my mom's name and her entire name and her phone number in the chat room. These are Tyra people. These are Tyra fans. Now they
I'm
act like I'm going to
sorry.
go crazy, but I don't. Remember, I don't love these hoes. Do what you want. I don't give a shit. Y'all have already said I don't care about my mom, so why would you put her in? I don't give a shit. Y'all been doing this for years. Have you seen me freak out about it? Nope. Remember, I don't love the woman. I talk shit about the woman. Do what you must. You want to hurt me? Then you got to find something about my kid. Other than that, there's no black woman you can fuck with that I'm going to give a shit about. I don't care. Do what you need to do to them. But I just want
Well,
you
I
guys to
watched
know
the
that the
video.
people who follow me are the people who follow them and think they're doing right. My mom hasn't come on here and said, "Good job, son. I love what you do." She hasn't. So why would they fuck with her?
Yeah. Wow.
And put her phone number out. I ain't seen nobody put Tyra's mama's phone number out.
Both of your mothers should be off limits.
And they've been doing this for like pretty much 2 years, I think. Pretty much the whole time. When he told them to go find out my mother's information.
Not cool. Not good.
They come in sometimes and put the address of her church.
Yeah. That's not good. Um,
But
I would.
when
I
I
hate to
hear
see
people
that
like you,
happening.
though, say you see the good in that man, no, you got to let him show you the good in himself.
When I said I see the good in him, it's with him and his son. No
Do you
matter.
see what he
I
did with
mean,
his son the last time his son came on the show? Him and his
no,
son would
I
have a
only
good
saw a little
conversation
bit of that.
until his son refused to say what he wanted him to say. He wanted his son to say that I paid him to come on the show. His son was like, "No, he was supposed to give you $2,000." And his son was like, "No, I got $1,100. See, he cheated you." He said, "How did he cheat me when he never promised me anything?"
I did see that part,
Then he told him to
but
get out.
I
All the
didn't
boy
see
said was,
that
"I'm not going to
part.
let you keep talking about my mom."
I didn't see that part either. I
He
only
did.
heard about it afterwards.
So this is the kind of dude that you're saying is a good dude that would denounce his son because his son came onto my show. Then try to bring him on because people were starting to say, "Well, that kind of looks stupid that you let your son down," and brought him over to fool him yet again. He wanted him to say something when he wouldn't say it. So it was all about me. His relationship with his son revolved around a dude on YouTube. And when his
That doesn't
son,
work.
that doesn't even make sense.
No, it does not.
But he
His
made it make
relationship
sense.
with his son, I mean, his relationship with his son should be so where you shouldn't have any impact on it. And I've said that to him before too. But healing and fixing his relationship with his son shouldn't have anything to do with you either, because it's up to him to say, "Son, I may have I handled this wrong, or let's just apologize and start over. Let's talk it out, air everything
It
out,
shouldn't have even been
and make a
done
pact."
online.
No, it
We
shouldn't
didn't
have.
need to
It
see
shouldn't have.
that. That's
No, we
stupid.
didn't. But
So
I want to reiterate that, Tommy, sometimes I go in and I go out. So I went in, I saw him sitting there with his son. I watched a few minutes of it and I was out. So I didn't watch the whole thing.
I
But
do
to
that too. At
but
times when I'm having sex, I go in and I go out.
uh, um okay,
Don't let me
so
get you hot over there. Don't let me get you hot over there. Stay focused.
I'm gonna stay focused because Gabonga ain't home yet. But it's all right. It'll be good. Um so damn it. What, you say something.
Let me say this then. I'll get you back on track. Hold on. Let me say this.
Not cool.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got off track. I'm sorry, but get right back on track now. But I want to say this to you. There should not be, you claim that you think there's some good in this man, and I'm showing you that there is none, because he's turning away from everybody just to stalk a dude he doesn't know because he can't get over this is the most known he's been in his whole life. Can we admit that? He's not been this popular or known in his whole life.
To my knowledge, I didn't know him before I heard you talk about him.
He hasn't. No one knows him. He was a nobody. This is the most people he's ever had watching him. And he keep trying to lie. Look, I got this video. It got 500,000 views. Motherfucker, that video was put up in 2009. Of course it should have 500,000 views. Nigga, you weren't popular. Because if you were popular when you first started going live, you would have had more than 20 people watching. But this nigga, when he was first going live against me, he was having 5 people in the comment section. Then he lies about how many subscribers he had. He had like 12,000 when he first started following me, going after me. It was like 12. It jumped up to 24, which means in the short time you've been talking about me, it's jumped up twice as much as it did in the previous 8 years you were on YouTube. So it's obvious that talking about me has made your stuff go up. Now, he would tell people, it's Tommy done. Those subscribers ain't real because he'll have 30,000 subscribers, but only 1,000 people watching him. He used to say that. Well, he now has 26,000 subscribers, he says. How many people are watching him per show?
About 100 and something.
So why doesn't he use the exact same excuse and say that he's buying subscribers? Or because he doesn't have the same amount of views per subscribers. Why doesn't he say it about the Young Turks? The Young Turks don't have 1 million people watching them live. Matter of fact, they have about 3,000-4,000, but they have 1 million subs.
Right. He's not applying the same rules to you or to himself that he applies to you. But that none of that matters because like you'll have 1,000, 2,000 people watching, but the next day you'll have had 30,000 views. So why are we counting that?
Why is he counting anything? That's the point. And that's why I'm talking to you and I'm talking to them and I'm talking about this whole situation. Because, again, the same thing that he uses to oppress the people who watch him to where the only voices he will listen to are the people who agree with him. That's where your mental illness gets undiagnosed. And that's how your mental illness stays where it's at. And that's why black women suffer from it more than anyone, because no one calls them out. See how no matter how long we've been talking, I can stay on subject and bring it back and sew it up real nice?
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm a little bit more spastic than that. So thank you.
What we are dealing with is a group of people who've never been told no. I've called them petulant children. I've called them retarded. And people get mad when I use both sayings. But if you break it down, take the emotion out of it, am I not spot on by the idea that when retarded people do something, we don't say anything to them because they're retarded. We don't expect anything more than them.
Well, the analogy is spot on. However, I would not call black women retarded, but sometimes some of our behaviors may seem like that of a retarded person. But the analogy is spot on. When someone does something and we know that they're slow, as we like to say in our community, we just excuse it or we don't call it out.
Well, that's why I said retarded or a petulant child. A petulant child is the exact same thing. They're just used to getting everything. And if you don't, then they go off. That little kid on that video that I did that was going around cussing people out, knocking stuff down. Do you think that child is going to be a responsible adult if it continues to keep going down that route?
Of course not.
No, has no choice, has no chance. And the majority of black children, especially black women, because if you're a black woman and it's like you, no matter how crazy you may sound or crazy you may act, if somebody say, I want to see them big titties tonight, they're going to ignore everything that happened. And the majority of black women get away with shit just like that. They get to ignore somebody like me. Like if my girl right now, if I told my girl, I want to be with you no more because you a dumbass, you a jackass. Well, she got big titties and she can walk out in the damn street, get on Tinder or whatever, and another nigga gonna try to get it. She don't need me. And as long as black women do not need the community that's around them, as long as they placate them, look it up, nigga, as long as they do this, we have no chance to address the mental issues. And remember, if crazy people are raising crazy people, why are we surprised that they're crazy? The majority of these black children are being raised. When you talk about what you dealt with in your life, yes, you may recognize it, but here's what I would hope you recognize. You were still raised by those people. So the imprint of what they've done, good or bad, is still in you, just like it is in me. That's why I said I have to wake up every morning, brush my teeth, wash my face, and slap the bitch out of me, because that was put in me. And even though I know it's wrong, even though I deny that thing is way too comfortable in me. It's like fat people having fat children. Remember, even when fat people have fat children, their children weigh no more than 12 pounds when it's born. So who's making that child now weigh 130 pounds at 6 years old?
Wow. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Go on, give me credit. Say, damn, he good. Just go on, say it.
Damn, he's good. Now, yeah, so I like to joke and say I'm crazy. People like to say that. Yeah, I'm not crazy. And I would go pound for pound against anyone who thinks that. But when you say that black women get away with things because we don't need you, no, we do need you. That's part of the problem in our communities. We need our black man. We need our man to sit at the head of the table as he once did in your grandfather's era, in my grandfather's era. We need to get back into our gender roles, and we need to respect our man and uplift him where we can. And we need to, I'm a submissive wife, and I've never told you that, but I've talked about it in my videos. We have a better quality of life if we can learn to be a little more submissive. What has happened is systematic racism, in my opinion, has put the black woman at the head of the table, and we have like morphed and taken on the roles of men. And now we think we are tougher than a lot of black men. And so we even coddle our black sons and make our black daughters tough. And that is so upside down.
Well,
We
because the
need
reason they
you.
do that
We
to their
need our
daughters is
black
because they
man.
don't like their daughters. Black women don't like their daughters. That's why so many black women have been made like you. You may hate what I say, but every time I get a black woman in an honest moment, she usually tells me that it's women that have fucked up her life. She will
Well,
honestly admit that as a kid, these women neglected her. Most black girls
I've
learn
seen
how to
you
be a
with
woman
women
by
like
what they
that.
see on television and what they see in the street.
I've seen shows where you've had women who say things like that. Every experience is different. Just like compare yourself. This is the last time I hope that I do this. Compare yourself to True Freeman. Clearly, you two have different upbringings and different socioeconomic lives and views of society. Well, all black people are not the same, and we don't fit in the same box. My mother liked me, loved me, adored me. I had friends whose mothers would call them names, and the first time I heard a friend's mom call her a bitch or a whore, it blew my mind because I didn't know mothers spoke like that. So we have this problem in Black America. It's rampant, but it's not all of us.
Remember what I said earlier about that all thing.
Yeah, I do. Absolute and all. That's true. So when you speak in general terms like that, maybe I shouldn't bother correcting you because you're not speaking about everyone.
And you have to
But
admit, and I even tell people, that's why I said nothing I say will I not explain. I explain to people why I don't. And my audience, I've explained it so much, my audience can probably tell you why I won't say it, but I'll explain it to you. I do not say some or few or any of those terms, because whenever you use those words around black people, black women specifically, they will then say he's talking about everybody but me. They will start pointing out motherfuckers they know that fit that. Yeah, I know some hoes like that. No, bitch, you are a hoe like that.
yeah,
So that's why I was coming at you the way that I was coming at you. I wanted you to realize, for all of the nice stuff you're saying, when pushed or when you don't like a conversation, you will respond the same way. That the way that you're saying is wrong. And me, I don't mind being checked like that. If somebody say, hey, you're doing the same thing that you just said was wrong. Like not everybody has a conscience though. So that doesn't work with everyone. It works with me. My ex got me to stop cheating by appealing to my conscience.
hmm
It didn't do me any good when I stopped though. But I'm saying she was able to do it.
well, it should have done you lots of good. But to your point, yeah, you're right. During this conversation, both of us have, in fact, reverted back to a place where we knew maybe it wasn't the correct place to be or the most upstanding way to behave. But also, um, for myself, and I think for you too, I realized, okay, we need to stop this. We need to get back on track and continue talking as adults. We both became angry, pissed off, and did what we learned or was taught. And then, as responsible adults who know better, I think we both ended up back on track.
And do you even remember
And
what I
that's the
said at the
whole
beginning,
point.
even in the midst, in the end of it, in the throes of my so-called being on a rant and being upset? Did you notice what I said when you said, can we go back to the start? I said, sure. If I'm no longer the name you referred to me, you're no longer that, and we can go right back to where I wanted to be in the first place, which is a civil conversation. See, I
I
didn't do this
remember
to
that.
have this. I don't do this to have conversations where they end with us yelling and screaming. I
Yes.
could have easily hung up on you.
Yeah.
I didn't. Because you would have been able to watch me go off. I didn't. At the end of the day, I'm really trying my damnness. And it may not be the best way, and I understand that. And it doesn't fit everyone. But what I want people to do is to be able to recognize and change.
And
I
I
hated
think
that
you're
we
effective.
recognize that eating hog mogs and chitlins all day are bad only when they're getting ready to cut our foot off. But then when they tell us, okay, you've been drinking water for the last 6 weeks and shit, it appears that we can save the foot. It appears that everything's back to normal. What will we do? Go right back to eating hog mogs and chitlins.
Yeah.
How do I know? You
I
know how many
agree with
times
you.
I've sat there and told God, if you let me not be burnt because I fucked this chick raw, if you let this chick not be pregnant, I won't do it again. She didn't come up pregnant and I wasn't burnt. What did I do?
And you did it again. Yeah.
Right back
And
at it.
and that's human behavior. Yeah.
So if we know the people who fucked up our lives more than anybody usually is like us. Because I can say that I've had a lot of black women do some shit. But then I sit up there and I let them. I know these hoes was hoes. How much, like lately, why would I even date black women if I know the shit that I know? Well, I'm honestly telling them because I honestly believe that I could get a black woman and we could be like this pillars of I don't know. I'm stupid. I keep thinking I can have the same thing I had with that white girl with a black girl.
What are you thinking when you get this black girl? Because you were with some black girl and she was so gorgeous and she seemed so sweet, and I really liked her.
You
She
talking
was
about
a
the light
student
skin
or
one?
something. No, she was about my complexion. She was dark. She had long hair, and it was her own hair, and it was kind of straight. And she seemed really quiet. And I remember you guys were on a trip with Alex in the car, and she said something inappropriate,
No,
and
that's
you
a light
said my
skinned girl.
daughter's in the back seat.
No, that's a light
Oh,
skinned girl.
she's
That's
light
that's
skinned.
yeah. She's light skinned. That's neck down.
Oh, okay. So, my point I was going to make is if you want something like you had with that white girl, are you holding these black women to the same standard? Are you comparing them and everything they do to what the white girl did? Because if you are, then you're setting yourself up for failure.
Well, let me tell you the difference. Everybody kept trying to tell me, well, you showed off that white girl. You showed her off. You don't show him for any black girls. Let me tell you the difference between that white girl and black girls. See, the black girls are out fucking other people. See, no matter what black girl I've met, they're out fucking other people. So they don't want people to know they're with you in a dating situation. So every one of the black girls would, you don't really, they have every excuse in the world. But that white girl grabbed a hold of what was her man until she no longer wanted me to be her man. But she didn't go around with that, let me hide my boyfriend shit. The majority of black relationships are hidden. You don't even know who these people are with. You go to a white boy Instagram, if he got a white girlfriend, they have a picture of each other. You don't know these black women are even in relationships until you hear they broke up. Most of us
Yeah,
are
but
just fucking around with each other. That's all we're doing. We're just fucking around on each other. There's no real relationship.
because that's all a lot of us saw growing up. And I do want to say that there are black women out there who want one man, and they want to hold on to that one man, and they're proud of him and they want to be with him. If you haven't met that girl yet, you just haven't met her yet. But there are women out there like that.
I know there are. There are several women who are like that. I'm not saying that there aren't. Maybe I'm not attractive enough, rich enough. It could be several reasons. My dick might not be big enough. I can't fuck good enough. I know that there's several things probably wrong with me that I don't deserve a woman worth of fuck. Maybe that's just it.
Well, maybe you're wrong in that too.
No, I'm saying I'm just trying to find I'll give an excuse of maybe it's just me. But why is it that so many other black men are having the same damn problem?
Because of the problem in the community, like you said, nobody's coupling up. Everybody's just sleeping together and trying a little bit of this and trying a little bit of that.
The fact that these women have no problem with bringing bastard kids. The fact that these women have no problem bringing bastard kids into the world should tell you a lot.
It's sad.
That like they literally don't care. They feel like they should get any type of man other than, let me say this correctly. They feel like they should have access to every black man, but they know the fuck shit that they pull with us won't work with other races. That's why these chicks who have no kids and are educated be throwing themselves at white men. And then when they can't get a white man, then they complain that men won't be faithful to them. But it wasn't men. You were fucking white men who were giving you worse of a time than black dudes were. I love it when almost every girl who I fucked with end up with a white boy. That white boy dog them out, but they act like they weren't getting dogged out. That white boy don't hear the fucking same mouth that I hear. That white boy, they get up and try to cook for his white ass because they make sure that something's being done. I have bitches around my house, all around me and everything. You know when the last time I had a motherfucker had to cook me a meal, the bitch had to fly away from Texas.
Well, I can't argue with you there because
and she said, I see this nigga don't have nobody cook for him. She cooked enough for me so the shit lasted for a week. But she's Nigerian.
Well, that's another part of the whole thing where we have to relearn.
And she light-skinned, so she ain't chasing white boys. They don't feel they need to chase white boys when they're light-skinned like that. It's only the dark-skinned ones that feel like they need to chase white people like that. So then...
Well, it's not just that. If she's Nigerian and she wasn't born and raised as a black woman in America, she has a confidence...
Oh, no, she was born and raised as a black woman here. It's the one you saw in the truck. Okay. She's Nigerian. Even though she's light-skinned, she's Nigerian.
Okay.
She got American ways. That motherfucker do a lot of American shit. I can talk for days. She do a lot of like out of line shit, but she's a sweet girl. I remember she'll tell you when we first. This is what happened to us when we first started talking. When I first met her, this was years ago. She was happy just fucking me. She said she saw me online. She just wanted to see what it was like to fuck me and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, she didn't respond to me on text message anymore for a year. Do you know why she didn't?
Why?
Because I asked her to be in an exclusive relationship.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Dead ass. She came back a year later and said, I stopped talking to you because you said you wanted something serious. I said, wait, what? So I would have been just okay with just fucking you? Or that's what you're telling me? Like, I'm the man and I'm coming at you wrong. Do you know that's been my mistake with black women, coming at them about like, look, I want a real relationship. I want to be married. Them bitches run. They want to just be fucked.
Talking to the wrong women.
They literally just want to be fucked though. And there's several black men who will tell you they've run into the same thing.
Wow.
They don't want a real relationship. They just want to fuck you. I can get a woman to put her lips on my dick before I can get a woman to put her lips on my lips. I've had more head than kisses from women in the past 5 years. Yes.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. That's crazy. And that just shows you wow, how we've degraded ourselves evidently as a people.
Why do you think they constantly run around making themselves out to be sex objects though? Look online. They all run around and they act like strippers. They do it on purpose.
They do it on purpose. They do.
So
Because their
they
only
don't want you.
value
Why
is
do you
in
think
their
most black women are
torso.
selling pussy online? They're literally online selling pussy. Then a black woman I
Wow.
can't fuck without offering her a little bit of money.
Wow.
I had an ex-girlfriend come back to me and tell me I'll sell you some pussy. It was an actual girlfriend who stopped being a girlfriend and became like an online hoe.
You've had some bad experiences with women.
I've had because of what True Freeman was doing when I was sitting up here crying because a girl that I loved when I was a kid married a nigga who didn't even have enough money to bury her.
Oh,
She died of
wow.
cancer and she had no interest in me because I was a square. But she loved my cousin because he was light skinned, had light eyes, and good hair. Guess where my cousin been since we were 20 years old?
Yeah, and that's
I
that's
even went
something
back and
that
tried to
black
holler at
women
that woman
do.
as an adult. Still couldn't get anywhere with her. And she had a kid at that point. I was willing to take on her damn kid because I thought she was so beautiful. She still had no interest in me. Now she's dead, and her husband wouldn't even go see her while she was in hospice because he said he didn't, and he wouldn't let her stay in the house because he said he didn't want to come home and her being dead in the house. So she had to go to hospice.
Well, a lot of black women are attracted to what is not best for them when it comes to picking a partner. I mean, um, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, her husband was educated in stand up. My mother came from a lower middle class family. She picked my father, who ain't shit. But she had other men pursuing her. But my father, who's not about anything and had a bunch of other women, was the one that she chose. And,
My
you
dad,
know,
my dad was married to a woman. My mom knew this. She didn't give no fucks.
yeah, that's part of the miseducation and backwardness that creeped in sometime in the 60s or 70s. Before that, our people didn't do that. Before that, a lot of times black women, and even when I grew up, you don't give oral sex. I mean, you better be damn special or my husband or something. You don't just get oral
The first
sex.
thing these women do is suck your dick. I grew up hearing that getting your dick sucked was something that had to be some special shit. Now you
Yeah.
have women who say kissing you in the mouth. I've had women let you fuck them raw, but tell you that kissing in the mouth is intimate. Threw me the fuck
Then those
off.
women those women need to be, they are lost in their ignorance
Do
and
you
they need to
understand that
be
the majority of black women
re-educated.
don't even know about hygiene? The majority of black women I've slept with, they pussy stink, and you can't tell them. If you
You
tell them
know
they pussy
why?
stink, they won't listen. But it fucking stinks. And all these white boys who've been with black chicks, every time I say that online, the white boys will jump in the comment section and be like, I've been with a couple of black chicks. It's true. It fucking stinks. Like they don't know
Yeah,
how
I
to
don't.
take care of it. It smells fine before you put your dick in it. Once you put it in there, next thing you know, the whole room starts wafting, and that fucking smell like Indian food in a baby's diaper that been set on fire.
I don't know, but I do have some advice for those girls. Drink more water.
You gotta just sit here and think about the ailments that are happening. It's not a quick fix. This is not a quick fix. This is a long ass process because it took a long process to get us here. It's not an overnight fix, but we damn sure can't fix it by placating them. We damn sure can't fix it by calling them queens. You can't call a person a queen and then expect them to change or feel like they've done anything wrong.
That is true. You've never heard me call someone a queen, and we evidently we weren't queens. I'm not from royal lineage because my people ended up on the slave ships. If I was royal, they would have kept me there in West Africa.
Right. Like on my one of my favorite movies, the woman said it smells like Bigfoot's dick. Like you listen to like, and when you say more water, let me tell you something. For as many times as I dated black women, you know what I've never heard them say? I gotta go see
What?
my gynecologist today.
Well,
They go see the nail person. They go see the hair person. You know, I had a bitch I used to date hit me up and ask me for money to get her hair done.
Hmm.
But who's fucking you? See, that's how black women treat the nice guy. The nice guy is the guy you can always circle back around and say something to and know you can get this dude to do something for you. But the dude who dick you sucking, nuts you licking, and asshole you licking, that guy ain't got to do shit.
A lot of that is true in a lot of situations. Yeah. But let me tell you, generations past just weren't educated. When I was a kid, my mother took me to the doctor on a regular basis. She died when I was 9. I didn't go to the doctor again or to the dentist until I was an adult and took myself. Okay? Because the
See?
people who were responsible for me were only concerned about the Social Security, survivor benefits, and the food stamps. I had a place to live. I wasn't being raised. I just had a place to stay. And so when I raised my kids, like I say, I tried to do things differently. Well, child visits every 6 months, feminine hygiene, wasn't taught about that, taught my
Mm-hmm.
daughters about that. It's all a matter of us just teaching this to the next generation, as you say, and it will not be fixed overnight. It will not be fixed easily. However, we are making a dent. We are changing things because in just one generation, I can see a change in my children. When I go back and I look at my great grandparents, and I'm speaking maternally because paternally it was a mess. Maternally, my great grandparents, my great grandpa worked, took care of the family, had a decent family. Grandparents, good. My mother's generation, the lost generation, they set everything back 50 years. And then here I come and I'm not being raised, I'm just given a place to stay and
That's what
exploited.
it's all about. Have you noticed that most black children in an honest moment will tell you, I wasn't nurtured as a kid. I was housed as a kid.
That's right.
Haven't you noticed how
And that
black mothers will tell us, like the one brother who came on my show, his mom charged him $1 million for raising him. She sent him a bill and he paid it because he felt like he needed to. He
wow.
got drafted into the NFL. She sent him a bill on draft day, itemized, talk about everything she did for him, and he owes her $1 million.
Are
She
you
did that to her son.
serious?
Yes. Look it up.
Isn't that horrible that that's how she celebrates her son's accomplishment?
Mm-hmm.
She's selfish and sends him a bill for $1 million?
Yep. Tyron Smith.
Wow.
Tyron Smith, a left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. His mom showed up with her boyfriend and sister to his practice right after he just signed his big contract, demanding that he pay, in the middle of practice, demanding that he pay her.
Wow. So that's okay. That's an example of some of the type of women that you and maybe others discuss. As some of these young people like to say,
Why do
ratchet.
you think
That's
my message
ratchetness.
resonates so much? If what I was saying was so wrong, it wouldn't resonate as much as it is. That's ought to tell you what Tyra's message is doing. Is he not stagnant? Yes or no? Has he not reached
Tyra
an
is
apex?
focused on you.
Matter of
Yes.
fact, he used to, at one point, he had gotten all the way up to like 300 people in his chat room. It's down to 100 now. And the less I speak of him, the more it goes down. I don't have that problem. That's why they have to flag my stuff. That's why they have to knock it down, make it difficult to find. Tommy Sotomayor and porn is about in the same damn sentence, and you can access more porn than me. As a matter of fact, porn should be a problem that these people are going after, but they're not. They go after me. There are several different racist groups out there. You don't see Tyra going after them. This United States government does black people real wrong. All these black shootings that people say, Tommy always siding with the cops. You're right. I always side with the cop. Now, who should you go after? The news guy who sides with the cop or the cop who killed the person?
Yeah.
See how
Well,
they will have a problem with me siding with the cop, but they don't go get the cop?
yes, I understand that. Um, I don't have any answer for you on that.
This is
Sorry
why
if
I'm
that's
so passionate and
disappointing.
emotional and stuff like this. Because I know we're dealing with real life issues. These are real issues we're talking about right here. I have a little girl, and I didn't give a fuck. I went off on my daughter's mom because she had my daughter around her cousin when my daughter was 5. And I went to go pick up my daughter, and I said, "Where's my daughter?" And she said, "She's with her Uncle Kurt." And I said, "Doing what?" "Oh, he comes and get her all the time, and they just go out." Now, he was 25, and she was like 5.
Mm.
And I said, because my daughter's mom explained that from the age of 5 to 9, her uncle used to make her suck his dick.
Wow.
So why would she put my child in the same position? Well, she says she knows him. He would never do that. And I said, "You dumb bitch. They probably thought the same thing about your uncle, you stupid bitch. They said the same shit. He would never do it. That's why he was able to do it. If you gave a shit, you wouldn't put your kid in the same spot that you were in." But that's what most black women do. Whatever happened to them, they put their kid in the same fucking spot.
You're right about that. I've seen that in my own family. My cousin whose daddy raped her when she was 10, she was prostituting her kids when they were 10. Yeah. And that does happen in black families, and that's just something that we have to call out. I'm sorry, we have to shame them. We have to shame these people into not doing that.
That's my point. Because Tyra, you know when Tyra will change? When enough people get up there and say, "We're not going to watch you, dude. What you're saying is fucked up. We don't like Tommy, but you're no type of alternative. You're a worse alternative. He doesn't even understand why people who hate me are siding with me against him. Dude, you're just an idiot. You wake up every day to fuck with this person. You've told the world you want to stop this person from making money. Any fool that sides with you deserves the same thing happening to them. That if somebody don't like you, they can fuck up your money. And nobody with any common sense, because I'm like that. I'm not going to side against a dude that's doing some shit that I know I want to be able to do one day. Hell no. I'm not going to side against this dude and knowing you're going to come hold me to that same standard. Anybody with any common sense that wants to be a YouTuber would say, "Oh, hell no. I can't be cool with this. You fucking with this man's shit because you don't like him. So that means you'll do it to me." And the funny part is, he's actually said it. "Go over there and hit Vic's videos. Go over there and hit Vic's video. Go over there and hit this girl's videos. Go over there and hit Lady Ho videos." He tells you to go flag people's shit because they say something about him, but then encourages people to say shit about me.
Yeah.
This is typical black female behavior. You can tell he was raised without a father. You could tell he acts like women. That's why all you see him around is them sorry ass hoes. And then when he sits there and ain't nobody sorry than his wife, because she wake up every day and watch him do that. Do you know one of the main people that's supposed to keep you in line is your spouse?
I do know that. I don't know if his wife is sorry or not. However, I can say as a woman, I don't see how I can't see myself living in a situation where my husband is online for hours at a time, seemingly obsessed with another man
dude that he's never met over his
opinion.
opinion.
That seems like it would be something that would hurt the relationship.
2 years in a row, this man will stay up at night. He stayed up one night. It was the weirdest shit in the world. Of course, he took it down. This nigga was singing to me for hours. Singing slow songs. When he had said about 10 o'clock, I'm going to fuck my wife. That lets you know your relationship is sorry when you got to tell people you're going to fuck your spouse. You don't have no respect for your spouse. I'm going to fuck my wife. What the hell is wrong with you? But after saying he's going to fuck his wife, he spent another 3 hours singing to me. Slow songs.
It may be an obsession.
I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting there like, this is scary as fuck. I don't know this man. And he keeps making excuse. I'm going even harder, going even harder. Why don't you just stop? We don't have no real fucking beef, and it's bled into your real life now.
That's true. I've made that point myself. It has carried over into his actual life, and it has upset the balance in his relationship, at least with his son, we can see that it's out in the public. And as a woman, I would imagine she's tired. I would imagine his wife is tired of it too. Um, but still, I mean,
She
this
sounded
whole
real
thing.
tired when she said, "I'm leaving." That is the cause. But then here's my thing: there must be something's weird about their relationship dynamic. This woman's 7 years older than him. She met him when he was living in his car. She had 3 kids, and they have none together. All of this is odd. Everything is odd about their situation. He gets online and admits that she cheated on him, but he's still there. He tried to make fun of G Double and said, it's obvious that G Double must be gay or he's shooting blanks because he has no children at his age. But this man was married to a woman who we know is fertile because she had 3 kids before she met him. She had not one with you? What does that tell you? And who picks up an 18-year-old boy when they have 3 kids on their own? Who does this? A 25-year-old woman picks up an 18-year-old boy who lives in his car, who has a 4-year-old kid at 18.
The cleanup woman. That's who does it.
Yeah, nobody does this. Nobody with any common sense. If that woman was worth a fuck. But then that woman's been working at Arby's for 17 years. If you've been at Arby's for 17 years, that motherfucker need to be named Donna's by now.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not, well, I guess I am purposely avoiding giving direct or pointed answers towards that because
And
I
G
don't
Double
know
just said he got 4 kids, so the nigga was lying on G Double.
Yeah.
He
I don't know
just
about
makes
his
stuff
wife.
up. And he never apologizes. He never says, I lied. When's the last time you heard him clean up where he fucked up? He lied on this man and said a man don't have no kids because he's shooting blanks. This man just said he got 4 kids. So why did he say that?
Well, why is that any of his business what
Right.
that man has?
He asked a lot about other men's penises and where it's been.
I don't know about that.
He does. He asked. Remember, he said today. He said he was trying to stop me. If you took away my money, I can't get no booty. That was the first thing came out of his mouth.
Yeah, I don't think I heard that today.
You didn't hear it? Oh man, I'll play it again.
Let me see. No, let me think. No, I've been busy all day. I haven't paid attention. I just came home and watched you.
If I keep on staying online with you, I ain't gonna get no booty. So I'm gonna have to go on and I'm about to get off for a while because I just said I was supposed to left a long time ago, and I'm still up here talking. But
yeah.
But I'm gonna see if I can find that thing. If I can find it really quick here. I'm pretty sure he took it down. Nope, it's still there. 3 hours and 40-some minutes. Let's see. We can get to where he said he can take away my money. I won't be able to get no booty. My computer's fucking up too. I need to shut this thing down.
Streams, and I wanted to just do a few streams, 20, 30, 40 minutes each.
I don't want to make excuses for True Freeman, and some people accuse me of that. But the only thing I can say to this is that he wants to ruin every aspect of your life.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to ask yourself why.
Why is a good question. I know I can say it doesn't make sense. It's not healthy, and it should be abandoned. That's what I think of it. This quest should be abandoned.
He and I should be able to have a conversation once and for all about, and I would allow him to do it, just like you and I are talking right now. Whatever his true beef was. And he said, well, as long as we don't talk about each other's family, dude, I don't want to talk about your family. I would welcome you to tell people why you think what I do is wrong, to the point of where you've done all this stuff for 2 years. That way we can get it off the table. Because my thing is, how much can you expose one person? If I was making videos about one... sometimes it's a little mentally vexing to tone in, and that's the same topic today. It hasn't changed. Yep. Hadn't changed. He hadn't brought up any new thing. He just starts making up stuff. And then he said, and I'm going to create another channel, and I'm going to play back all the playbacks of the playbacks of the playbacks that I had. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
He literally said, and I'm not lying. He said, And have you seen the videos where he talks over himself, talking over himself, talking over himself? He broke the fourth wall.
That once, and it blew my mind.
Right, and he will keep arguing with himself while arguing with himself, arguing with himself. The shit was scary. He will pause it and will sit there and argue with the person. You'll hear them all talking at once. You'll be like, hold on a minute. He's arguing with a version of himself that was arguing with a version of himself that was arguing with a version of himself.
Yeah, I heard a show where something similar to what you're saying, and I had to turn it off because I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I couldn't comprehend what was going on and what I was supposed to get from this.
I know I'm crazy and got a few screws loose, but I was like, oh my God, how does he do that? It's like Vic, my man, but you know there's something wrong with Vic, because I was like, I tried to tell Vic, I said, Vic, why do you do that weird laugh over the middle of the stuff when people are coming to you trying to listen to that stuff, but you will talk all over it? Like there was one video, he had a tire and he was like, I'm gonna give you this. I said, I can't use that. He said, why not? I said, because you literally just sitting there laughing and talking through the whole thing.
Well,
and I'm like, what? You gotta be. And in each one of their videos, I'll be like, I can't. There's a place where I have to stop watching Vic when he does that weird smacking when he'll be eating. Well, and it'd be loud than a bitch. And I'll be like, you gotta be crazy to sit in his damn comment section to listen to this. I have to get away. He cool with me, but you know a lot of this stuff that these people are doing, they're off and they're allowed to be that off because people are allowing them to be that off.
I don't watch Vic. I think Vic has a great voice.
Vic got a beautiful voice, and he got a nice mind, but he can't control it. He's dealing with what a lot of us are dealing with. If Vic could stay focused, that motherfucker would be hell. But he's never had to stay focused because if you enjoy, but I accept it, and I know I can only go but so far with the individual though. I know I can only go here. I can't go past that. That's the same thing with True Freeman. If you wanted to fix something, the nigga has insight. If you wanted to build a business where you were fixing shit, he would ruin it.
Right. Not everyone who is good at a job is also going to be a good manager of that position.
Because when I tried to let Vic work, I was like, I really wanted to do a show where me and Vic would talk, but I was like, Vic can't stay on task. If Vic could stay on task, I would work with him. He can't stay on task. And I told him this, so I'm not talking behind his back. I've said it several times. If he could just stay on task, I'd work with him. But Vic be all over the place, like to the point of where they'll be doing live streams. Like this is the weirdest thing. You've never seen me go to sleep on my own live stream. Vic and Tyra have went to sleep on their live stream several times.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know about that.
So who
I heard
does that?
someone one time talking about Nat Torius falling asleep on his live stream. But, you know, and that's something that True Freeman was upset with me about because I don't see all the shows. I'm a busy woman with a life. No, I don't see all the shows.
But all these people are weirdos that they just fall asleep while they're streaming. Like, this has never happened to me. Never. And you see how long I stream. You see how often I stream. Why have I never fallen asleep?
You're in a different class and you know that.
I know there's some things I do that are crazy. My biggest downfall is I don't like being alone. That's probably going to cost me everything. I like being alone, but I don't like being alone. I enjoy being to myself, but I like not being alone. I don't know. And that's a bad thing. But I don't bring that drama to other people either. Like the one thing about being crazy is what you need to do is once you recognize you're crazy, keep it crazy to you. Don't make other people have to endure your insanity.
Right. Or own it. And you can actually teach other people how to live with it. Excuse me.
And so I am one of those people who say, I have my quirks. Nobody should have to go through my quirks. I will even tell to my audience, this is not a good day. Many of them have been in the chat room waiting, and I've had to tell them, I know if I come on, I'm going to give you a bad show. I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
I don't try to act like I'm better than them. How many of you out there have heard me openly say I'm dealing with depression? I can't help anybody if I don't point out what it does to me. I was probably one of the first black people on YouTube who didn't admit that he tried to kill himself for sympathy. Because if you guys notice, when I talk about suicide, I never talk about it in a way where I'm trying to get you guys to be sympathetic towards me. Never. I've never said I tried to kill myself. Here's the donate button. I tried to kill myself. Feel bad. Nope. I tell you that this is something that is happening. I'm one of the few, and they made fun of me for doing that. You can tell there's something wrong with him. Fool, there's something wrong with all of us.
There is something wrong with all of us. And I just want to say, for the record, when a man shows emotion or a man speaks to subject matters like what you're speaking to now, that shows strength and courage. There's nothing wrong with you for doing that. That shows courage. And if we could teach that courage to our sons, they would have fewer problems. That's why you got so many black men out there, young black men, who will do something to ruin their lives and either go to jail or go to hell because they haven't been allowed.
Me yelling and going off. But I want you to hear this. Nobody wants to admit this, but a lot of black men go to jail because that's the only time they can get mentorship from other men. That's the only time they can actually be a part of a family. Why do you think that many of them are doing stupid shit to go to jail?
You know, I agree with you. And also I want to add that I know from experience, I've heard of black men who go out and do things so that they go back to jail, so that they have that structure that you just spoke about, or so that they have 3 hot meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem there is nobody taught them if you go get a job, you can have 3 hots in a cot and have it on your own. Nobody taught them that. And you think, how ridiculous. But it is so true. I grew up in the projects in a generation where nobody worked, grown men and women. And they were finding ways to get 3 hots in a cot. And sometimes that was going to jail. For women, that was having a baby and getting welfare, getting your free housing, getting your food stamps.
There you go.
Nobody taught us better.
There you go.
That was the problem.
These little girls wanted to be loved. Mama treated them like shit. Did you know that most of these little black girls get kicked out of the house between the ages of 13 and 17? They're kicked out of their homes.
You know why? Because somebody's sitting somewhere saying, with her fast, funky ass, you know, she fucking.
So she will literally have a kid to feel loved.
Your body.
Many black women they give you has a condition. So why are they seeking unconditional love? And then lastly, if they're seeking this unconditional love, why do they then turn around and mistreat those people who they say love them unconditionally?
Good question.
Boom. That ought to make you think. They want unconditional love. They claim their children love them unconditionally, and they treat their children like shit.
They're speaking a forked tongue.
That's right. That ought to tell you something, because we're all fighting our inner demons, and our inner demons is that outer person who raised us. That's our inner demons. The most inner demons we have is the outer person who raised us. Do you know why I didn't learn how to swim? Because my mom didn't know how to swim. My mom almost drowned, she said, when she was 13. Guess what happened to me when I was 13 when I went to my friend's house? Almost drowned.
What?
Almost a fucking exact same life experience as my mom. So I was afraid of water, not because I knew anything about water, but because my mom was afraid of water. Do you know that the majority of black children don't eat shit, not because they know what it tastes like, but because their parents told them it don't taste good?
Yes, I do know that.
We don't get to experience life for ourselves and encouraged to express ourselves by our parents. We are told to squelch our own independent thought and think like them when they know they didn't like it when it was done to them. That's what a cycle is. A repeat of something, whether it's good or bad, it just keeps going.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I agree. And it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a terrible disservice to our children that, like you say, we love unconditionally. If I love you so unconditionally, why am I putting you in this box and not letting you breathe and be free and experience life? I didn't learn to swim because no one before me knew how to swim. And because no one knew how to swim, I made sure and put my children in swim lessons. I didn't want them to have the same crosses to bear that I had. I made sure I have 4 children. They all know how to swim. They all know how to do a million things I know how to do. They all flew on planes before I ever got on a plane because I knew it was part of my ignorance as a black woman that
My daughter's
I ain't getting on no
passport is
plane.
stamped up. My daughter done been everywhere. She know how to swim. My daughter does not get picked on for sounding like a little white girl. My daughter I want her to experience because hell, her life could end tomorrow. Why would I want her to wait till she's 35 and free of me before she starts saying, maybe I should do more? No, my daughter's going to understand your life don't have to be like mine. She don't have to go to Georgia Tech. I'm not going to force her to do that shit. That ain't where she belongs. I would like it if she was a boy and athletic, but she a girl and all she do is run track. But I act like I give a shit about it when I don't. When she dance, I act like I give a shit about it when I don't. Why? Because I want her to live a fulfilling life, not what I would consider a fulfilling life. To me, I think that's what good parenting is, when you can allow your kids to find their own safe space. All right, dear, I got to go because I'm about to get in trouble. We can do this again, though. I really enjoyed the conversation all the way through, whether good or bad, because one had to happen for the other to happen.
I agree. And I agree. I've enjoyed it as well. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for discussing these issues. And, I won't uninstall my Skype. Anytime that you want to talk
Good.
about
I was going to say email you, but
let
you're
me
right. I
know.
can Skype you. I forgot about that. I forgot we were on Skype.
Yeah, and you can email me at inheritedinsanity3@gmail.
Hold on.
So
make sure I pull up the Skype. Where the hell is the Skype at? Shit. Did we add each other? I don't know. I got to get out of here, but email me. My email's on the website. Anybody else that'd like to have a one-on-one, you can email me. All the information's on the website. I literally have to go. I am behind. Movie starts at 11:15, but it's only 5 minutes away, so I shouldn't have an issue. But I will talk back to you guys later, and I will talk to you probably tomorrow. Or I don't know if you'll be up. I'm a late person, but I'm on the West Coast. But I can hit you up a little bit later if you would like to, dear, or Mickey.
Tomorrow's good.
That's perfect. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you. And thank you, guys. I'm very sorry I got to rush up out of here, but I'm going to see the movie again. And that's just what I'm going to do. I'll talk to you guys later.